afternoon, Raiders. My name is Shannon Kersey, and I am the very proud principal of Alpharetta High School. This is the first time that I am participating in a Microsoft Live event. And so I want to be transparent about that because I have a few of my staff members here, Mr. Andrew Bolin and Ms. Pam Kelly, who are helping me behind the scenes here to hopefully make this successful as we are beginning universal remote learning at Alpharetta High School. This is my 10th year as principal of Alpharetta High School. This is my 10th Information Day at Alpharetta High School, and it's going to be unlike any other Information Day that we've ever had because we are in universal remote learning. Some things remain the same about Information Day, and that is that it's about meeting your teachers. It's about getting to know our faculty. It's about our students and parents getting to know who's going to be spending so much time with your children over the next semester, over the next year. And that remains the same. This picture that you're seeing right now, this happened about 30 minutes ago. Our entire faculty was online. All these teachers and administrators and counselors, we are all in the building together, and we've been in the building together. Everybody's in their own individual space, staying very safe in order to decrease the spread of COVID in our community. And our teachers are working hard. So I asked all of our teachers to give a wave to our parents and our students. And you can see that everybody's so happy. We're so happy to be kicking off school. We miss our students. And I want you to know that your teachers are so excited to meet you. And even though that meeting this year is going to be virtual, we have all worked really hard to figure out how to use Microsoft Teams and how to engage with our students. And we are committed as a faculty, as a school district, to continue to learn and grow. And students, we're going to teach you how to use this technology. Parents, we're going to teach you as well. We're on this journey together, and we don't know how long we're going to be on it. We're going to stay safe. That's our number one thing, but we're going to continue learning. So during universal remote learning, more so than ever, communication is going to be critical. And it's always a challenge when you have a high school as large as ours. We have over 2,300 students who are enrolled at Alpharetta for the 2021 school year. And so we have all of those students and then all of their parents. It's a large organization, and it's difficult to communicate even when we're here on campus every day. But that difficulty has risen exponentially. And so I wanted to share with you the methods that we're going to use to try to increase communication. First off, through emails. If you're on this call, that probably means that you've received the email communications directly from me. But if you haven't, then we need you to ensure that your email address, parents, is correct. And you can do that through our registrar, Mrs. Donna Bird, and she can check that for you and update it as needed. Additionally, students, this is so very important. We are communicating directly with you as well. And we are doing that through your Outlook email and your Fulton County Schools Outlook email. And it is critical that you know which email that I'm talking about. In just a moment, I'm going to show you our website, and I'm going to show you where the directions are that are going to ensure that you know how to check your Fulton County Schools email. Your teachers are going to correspond with you that way. I'm going to correspond with you that way, your counselors. So if you don't check that email, you're going to miss some critical information. So that's really, really important. Our Alpharetta High School website. We are utilizing our website And I'll share that with you in just a moment. You're also, every evening, our parents and our staff are getting a phone call from me this week. If you're not getting that phone call, then we need to update those records as well. And this week I've been sending an evening phone call, but starting next week, I will send a phone call every morning at 8:20 a.m. when school begins. It'll be short, but parents, I do ask that you work with me and have your students listen to that call. Unfortunately, at this time, I can't call students directly. I'm not sure the students think that's unfortunate, but I do. So I have to work through your parents. Parents' best practice is just let that call roll to your voicemail. And then you'll have it because there's going to be important information there that you could save. And then you could let your student listen to it. Our expectation is that our students are up, ready to learn at 8:20, because 8:20 is when the bell rings to begin our school day. And so parents, you can have your student listen to that phone call if you're home. If not, hopefully they can learn how to maybe check that voicemail. I will tell you that I do post the transcript of my phone calls just in case for some reason you didn't get the call or you can't have your child listen to the call. Those will be posted in the same place every day on our website, so you could go back and read that transcript. And then also, on some occasions, I can even send out a text message. I've done this with our staff, and I can do that with parents as needed if there's something pretty urgent. And so those are ways that I'm going to try to communicate overall messages for the entire school or to a grade level. That's how I will do that. But your teachers also will be sending you emails sometimes. And so students, again, checking your student email is really important. Many of you have already received emails. I know I've got a freshman at Alpharetta High School as well as a senior. And I know that my freshman's government teacher already sent him an email yesterday that was really great and positive. So check your emails, and students and parents, check your voicemail, and also plan to check our website regularly. Now, Fulton County's website has some real broad information, a lot of good information about universal remote learning, but we're going to have much more specific information related to Alpharetta High School on our Alpharetta website. But those are all the communication avenues. And then, of course, Microsoft Teams. Today, I'm using Microsoft Teams for a live message to our community. If it turns out that this worked well, because I'll ask for feedback, then this is something that I will continue to do as well. For right now, I do want to take a moment and actually navigate to our website so that you can see what I'm talking about. If you have your phones out, students or parents, you could take a picture of this website address because you'll probably want to go to it often, and then you can save it. You can save it as a favorite as well. So at this time, hopefully you're seeing this screen. If all's working well, I'm getting a thumbs up from my team in here. So you can see that on this top area of our website, there's how to check your Fulton County email, students. Let me go back to that because that's so important, how to check your email. Also, really important today, your information day directions right here, right on the main page of our website. For those of you who are engaged in textbooks today, textbook drop-off, that information is here. So it's right here on the main area of our webpage. This is really important information for you. If you have questions, start there because we're going to try to put all of the pertinent information that we need to share with you right at your fingertips as long as you can get to our website. Just today, when we were meeting with our faculty, it was obvious that there were other questions that were coming up, but our staff was able to answer them, and they will continue to create small little videos that are going to assist. So you see our website there, you see our directions. All of you could log in, access these directions for Information Day. There's a little bit of a lag in what I'm saying and what you're seeing. It's okay. The August 13th directions on how to log into Teams for Information Day. This is what all of our students need to follow today. So between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock today, this is what we ask our students to follow. They are step by step. If our students log in and follow these step-by-step directions today, you are going to get to meet all of your Alpharetta High School teachers. All of our teachers have set up their classrooms in Microsoft Teams using Microsoft Teams as our platform this year is a district expectation, and our teachers have learned that very well. And you're going to see those step-by-step directions. So parents, please work with your students today to ensure that they're following those instructions. Now, the best laid plans, there are sometimes some things that happen that we don't expect. All of our teachers are sitting at their desks now, and they are able to answer questions that you have. If you have any trouble getting into your teacher's team today, then all you have to do is email them. You might ask, what if I don't know their email address? Well, our website is where you find that. So you will go to staff, then you'll go to directory. If you can't get into following those instructions, well, then you will be able to go to our directory and find our teachers. All of our teachers are listed. For example, if you have Mr. Allen listed as a teacher on your schedule, well, you can email him here, as well as you can access his website. So every teacher at Alpharetta is going to have their email and their website on our Alpharetta High School website. And so that's just really a clear way to get in touch. But today, if you have any trouble following those Microsoft Team directions and getting to your teachers' websites where you'll get to see their welcome videos, you're going to meet your teacher, you're going to learn about the supplies that your child needs for the class, and that's it for today. So most students can get through Information Day in 20 to 30 minutes. The videos are about 5 minutes each. You can navigate through the teacher's website as well, but most students can be finished within 30 minutes today, as long as everything goes well. If you have trouble, then you email your teacher, and then we're going to be working all throughout this afternoon as a faculty with all of our experts in the field of technology, trying to figure out what are the obstacles. Why isn't your child able to access their teachers? We want to get all of those bugs worked out so that on Monday morning at 8:20, all of our students are able to log in, follow that same pathway to get to their child's classroom, to their teacher's classroom, excuse me, and learn. We want our students learning on day one. So this is what your child will see when they go in today through ClassLink, which is on their Fulton County Schools website. Then you find ClassLink, and this is what your child will see. And then you're going to look for the Microsoft Office, and you will click on that. Your child will click on that. You'll go to Teams. And then this is what your child will most likely see. Something similar. They might have more of these tiles, but we were very strategic in naming our classrooms. So if you look with me on this particular screen, you'll see that this student can find the student's first period accelerated pre-calculus class with Mr. Gibble for the 2020-21 school year. And then this student's going to go to their second period class, which is symphonic band with Mr. Jenkins. Student must love music, because then they go on to their third period class, music technology with Mr. Walsh. Then this student goes to Mr. Meisner's fourth period. Then they move to fifth period with Mrs. Oliver, literature honors. And then this student ends his day with sixth period AP physics with Mr. Murdoch. So that is what your student will need to find today. They'll match their schedule, which is found through Student Access Center or Home Access Center. One thing's for sure, students have figured out how to find their schedules. I know that. So they will take their schedule, and then they're going to link it up with these tiles, and that's how they know how to get into their classroom. Now, again, this next slide shows the view of a Alpharetta High School student's schedule. So if your student's schedule is complete and your child is taking 6 periods here, some of our seniors, our juniors and seniors take college classes, so those may look differently. But if you're supposed to have 6 classes, and so you'll see this student, Patrick Greenaway, thank you for allowing us to use your schedule. That's Miss Greenaway's son. Miss Greenaway is our master scheduler here who creates the schedule. So we're using his schedule as an example. Shout out, PJ. So you'll see here that first through 6th period, he has a class every single period of the day. And they're listed in order on the schedule. So that's what students see. Our students will have advisement as well as a flex schedule, but we'll talk more about that later. It's really those first 6 periods that you need to be worried about today for Information Day. If you're missing one of those periods, and it's not because of a reason that you know of, meaning college class, then that's when you actually reach out to our counseling department and let them know that you're missing a course. Now that's done through a very official process that I've already sent out to you. There is a document that you complete to let them know that there's a schedule error, and they will be working on those. But most of our students have a full schedule. There are some students, because we are an IB school, that might see a schedule that looks a little different. We have some courses that are called blended courses that only meet a couple days a week. They don't meet every day. And that's primarily our seniors in AP Lit, AP Econ, or literature, 12th grade literature, 12th grade economics, or our students in the IB program. So just a quick, just so you understand that if you're an IB, that one of the classes, the History of America, meets with Mr. Smiley Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but then on Tuesdays and Thursdays meets with Mr. Wright. And so that's how it looks on the student schedule, and you can see that there. So that should help you figure that out. And then in, excuse me, I'll back up. In this area, that student would have just 2 separate tiles for first period because they have 2 first periods. They just meet on different days. Moving on, I want to talk a little bit more specifically about universal remote learning. That is how we are starting the school year this year due to COVID-19 concerns. We are starting with a remote learning model, but it's going to be very different than it was in the spring. If you were here in the spring, if you attended Fulton County Schools, you will know that we only had classes 1 day a week, meaning English met on Mondays, math on Tuesdays, social studies Wednesdays, etc. There was only 1 course a day. And while that worked for us in an emergency situation, it's very different this year. So parents, Not sure if your students are sitting there with you, but this is a really important part of what they need to understand. We have a regular bell schedule. School starts at 8:20 every day and is going to end at 3:23. And we do expect our students to be up, showered, and ready to start at 8:20 every day and work throughout the day. Now, we do not expect students to be sitting in front of their device for 7 hours straight. That's not at all what we're saying. But every period will happen every day. All 6 periods every day. There are 45-minute class periods. And a term that you're going to start hearing a lot is that there will be a balance between synchronous and asynchronous instruction. Synchronous means that it is live. It's happening in real time. So let's say first period starts at 8:20. All the students are logging in at 8:20 through Microsoft Teams. The teachers also in their classroom live. The students turn on their cameras. The whole class can be seen together. The teacher takes attendance at that time as she can see everybody, and then they start learning together. The teacher will perhaps show a PowerPoint, for example, with some information. She'll be asking students questions about it. She'll be calling on students' names. Students will have to turn off their microphone and respond. That's an example of synchronous instruction. And that, for this year in Universal Remote Learning, there's an expectation that every period, every day, that students have between 10 and 30 minutes of that live instruction with their teacher. And teachers are going to balance that. They're not going to do 10 minutes every day, Monday through Friday, or 30 minutes every day, Monday through Friday. They'll balance it. They'll figure out what they need to do to be most successful in teaching their students the content. Sometimes that's going to need to be more independent practice time. Sometimes that's going to need to be more teacher-directed. But the teachers are best to determine how to work within that framework. That's something that I think is really important to understand. The framework is Fulton County Schools framework, the balance of synchronous and asynchronous. It's an individual teacher gets to figure out how to work within that framework. Asynchronous then is when the student is expected to be working on that content, that teacher's classroom, but the teacher and the student aren't interacting live. The student is working out, let's say, 10 math problems, but they're doing it on their own, and perhaps the next day they're going to go over those problems. Or it could be that at the beginning of this particular day, the teacher has asked for students to spend the first 20 minutes of second period math class working out some problems. So you should see your student sitting at their desk at home working out those problems, but the teachers assigned the student to log in for the synchronous portion of the lesson for the last 25 minutes of that class period. And that's fine. The students are going to log in later, and then they'll go over those problems. So that's an example of how a class could be set up. It's going to be very important that our students realize that the teachers will be posting the time that the students need to be in that period for the synchronous portion of the lesson. And all of our teachers will be posting that in a similar way on their website, which can be accessed through our Fulton County's website, but that will also be part of each teacher's Microsoft Teams site. Every teacher has set it up the same. There is a tab for a website, and all of the teachers have it linked there. So students should have no problem getting to that calendar and knowing exactly when they're supposed to log in for that period for the synchronous instruction. Now that's important for the learning, of course, but that's also when we're going to take attendance. So the teachers will be taking attendance this year. Students will be expected to be in class every day, and the attendance taking is going to happen during the live back and forth time between the teacher and the student. That's a lot of information. take it in, reflect. This is recorded, so you'll be able to go back and watch it again. But we'll all get into this habit and routine, and it's going to work out great. Our teachers are amazing, and they're creating some really fascinating, outstanding lessons. I'm excited to see us get to work. This is a broader view of our bell schedule. I recommend that every parent, every student, every faculty member that is engaging in this welcome session with me, get out your camera, take a picture of this bell schedule. This is how we will be working throughout universal remote learning. You will see that prior to 8:20, just like during a regular day when it's not universal remote learning, that is a time when teachers can have help sessions. At Alpharetta High School, we call these RISE sessions, and you can see that stands for Reteaching, Instructional Support, and Enrichment. We do spread it out so that a student that might need help in multiple classes will be able to navigate that more. A lot of our teachers engage in those sessions more than just the specific day assigned, but that's a minimum. So there will still be help sessions for some students before school, but then you'll see right here that first period starts at 8:20 and goes to 9:06, and you'll see that I'm going to give that wake up call in the morning. And then the next period, second period, doesn't start till 9:18. So that's a lot longer between classes than we typically have here. When you're at school, students, you only have 5 minutes in between classes. But you can see here that that time is longer, that break is longer, and we feel like it's 12 minutes, I believe. Yes, it's written on here. We really feel like it's very important that the students do have a longer break, a screen break. Walk away from the computer, get up, stretch, move around, take a walk. It's really important. That is super important. Put those times on your phone, set alarms. We're actually going to still ring the bells here at school because we need to do that too. We've learned that it's a different kind of tired when you're sitting in front of your screen. When we go home at night as teachers, we are exhausted. And so we're working to build in that extra break time to walk around, that wellness time. We're starting to call it. It's super important. So that's why our classes are only 45 minutes and give that longer break. You can read through a little bit more. Now, when we get to fourth period, this can sometimes be confusing. If you are a rising freshman, meaning you're new to Alpharetta, welcome class of 2024. We're so happy to have you. There's over 500 of you joining us this year, many from Webbridge, many from Hopewell, but some transferring in from other countries, other states. We also have many new students, our upperclassmen that are brand new to our school. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy that you're here. But fourth period can be confusing. So you will see that fourth period is our lunch period. Half the school goes to lunch right after third period. Immediately when the third period bell rings, that group of students goes to lunch. And the way that you know that is by what your fourth period class is. So real quick, I'm going to go back to the schedule. This student has PJ, has Mr. Meisner for fourth period. Okay, so then we're going to go back to our bell schedule and we're going to look, well, what is broadcast video? Well, that's a career tech course. So this student knows that right after third period, he's going to go straight to Mr. Meisner's class, because see where it says class right here? That means if you're in a career tech class, fourth period, then you have to go to class first. However, this student has fine arts. I actually think that's going to be a good example. because they also go straight to class. But students, I know there's many of you out there, half the school, so probably about 1,200 more of you probably have a language arts class, a social studies class, or a world language class for your 4th period. If you do, then, oops, you go to lunch first. So if you're new to the school, I promise you your 4th period class, your 4th period teacher is going to help you with that. They're going to make sure you know whether you go to class first or you go to lunch first. But it's probably not as confusing once you just get through it. But I know it can look confusing on the schedule. Now, something that we do have here at Alpharetta is, it's called anchor time normally, and that is when some of our students get the privilege of leaving school during lunch, our upperclassmen, where other students have study hall and some students have remediation. So we're not really going to have that because we're in universal remote learning, but we do need to set some time aside during the school day for students who need some sort of intervention or remediation. And so that's in between both lunches. Next week, our first week of school, nobody will need to do anything during that time. So let me repeat that. Next week, during the first week of school, between 12:09 and 12:39, no students are going to be meeting with any teachers. Starting the second week of school, on Monday and Friday, you look down here at the bottom of the schedule, you see it's called advisement on Mondays and Fridays. This is an expectation for all students. All students will be assigned to an advisement classroom, and on Mondays and Fridays, all students are expected to meet with their advisement teacher for social emotional lessons. This is new in Fulton County. This is, again, that framework that Fulton County provides for all schools. And we believe that helping our students learn and navigate the social, emotional, psychological part of their lives is just more important than ever. And as such, that has now become part of our curriculum in schools. And so on Mondays and Fridays, yes, seniors, you too, logging in for advisement. And so we'll talk more about that as the end of next week happens, as we get ready for the second week. So repeat it one more time. You don't have to worry about that for next week. That 12:09 to 12:39 will be a break for everybody, just a longer lunch break for all. Starting the second week of school, that's when that time will be utilized for everybody on Monday and Friday, and for some students on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. More information about that to come. Then you'll move on to your afternoon, 5th and 6th period, and you'll notice here that school is ending a little earlier than usual. Usually we end at 3:30, but we're ending at 3:23. And again, that's to keep those classes at 45 minutes and to give students more of a break, a screen break. A lot of our students have to stay after school for additional help or to make up tests. Those things are still going to happen. We're still going to have after school activities for students who need them. And so we still wanted our students to get that break, that screen break. Again, lots of information, but this video is being recorded. It will be posted. Take a picture of the schedule and get ready to start school on Monday, bright and early at 8:20. And then finally, one of the things that we're really proud of here at Alpharetta High School is our PBIS program, our positive behavior and rewards. We love to honor our faculty, our students who are doing the right work, who are doing the right thing. At Alpharetta High School, we strive to be rich raters. And when we talk about rich, we're not talking about monetary value. We're talking about being rich in character, being a good person. Whenever a student graduates from Alpharetta High School, we want them to have these attributes of respect, integrity, citizenship, and hard work. And we talk about what those behaviors look like in face-to-face school. But now we're going to be in universal remote learning. So our staff has talked through, what do these different attributes look like in a virtual learning environment. And so we're going to keep talking about these behaviors with our students, and we're going to reward our students for demonstrating these behaviors. Now, one of the things that I've heard from lots of teenagers that I've talked to recently, and two live in my own household, is that students don't like to turn on their cameras. And oftentimes are actually just even a little nervous about talking. And so here's the thing. We all have to behave differently because of the situation that we're in. And it's going to be really important in order for us to engage in high levels of learning, for students to be willing to talk and engage with each other and with their teacher in this virtual environment. And it's going to be required that students turn on their cameras when it's educationally appropriate. Two examples that I can give you that are educationally appropriate and that will mean that it's required is during that attendance taking time. The teacher needs to see you to make sure you're sitting in their classroom, even if it's virtually. So that will be an expectation during the attendance taking portion of a class. And then also during assessments. We're still working through how are we going to build proper assessments and how are we going to give those tests in a virtual environment. But it is an expectation that if a test is happening and a teacher needs a student to turn on their camera so they can monitor that the student is sitting there and being academically honest and showing integrity, that we need to see that. So begin to think about that, students. We're really going to need you to participate. It's so important here that we build community. Relationships are key. We know that students will learn from a teacher that they believe cares about them. And we believe as a faculty that that caring is going to happen better through cameras on sometimes, and engaging with talking back using your microphone, students, and not just engaging in chats. We need to hear your voice. We want to see your face. We want to see your smile. We want to see your expression. Those are how we build relationships. So I hope that you can work with us and during universal remote learning, really start to embrace that work of cameras on and talking. As I close today, I want to make sure that everyone knows of our amazing support organizations at Alpharetta High School. We have a school governance council that meets regularly every month. I encourage you, strongly encourage you to participate in that, in the sense that you would, you can have public comment if you sign up, but just to hear the updates. We have students that serve on our councils at high school, and I promise you, parents, you want to hear those student voices. They're amazing. We have teachers, community members, myself. We are all on this together, and we govern Alpharetta High School collaboratively. And so that is the my governing group that ensures that I'm hearing various perspectives and that I'm making the best decisions for our school. And we make those decisions together. So I encourage you to learn more about School Governance Council. We also have an amazing PTSA. We wouldn't be the school of excellence we are without the support of all of our amazing PTSA members. And I strongly encourage you today, right now, this is our big drive, is always Information Day. Please find that email that I sent you, and please, please, please join PTSA. There's different levels that you can join. And if you do, you get a really cool magnet with our new logo on it. It actually, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it looks like that. Oh yeah, there's a delay, so I can't tell if you saw it or not. Anyway, join PTSA. It's in your email, it's on our website. And then finally, our Alpharetta High School Foundation. Not all high schools have foundations, and I'm super proud that we have an extraordinary foundation made up of volunteers and community members and parents whose primary role is to raise money for our school to support our teachers and support our students. Last year, our foundation raised over $10,000, I think it was upwards of $17,000 to support our families, our students and parents who are struggling financially because of the COVID crisis. That's an amazing organization. So I encourage you to get involved with those three organizations, join PTA, learn more about the foundation. If you'd like to donate, we'd love to have your donation as the foundation and really want you to join PTSA. So that's it, Raiders. That's our information day. That's my welcome. Now we just need all of our students and parents. I hope you sit side by side, go through those step-by-step directions, meet all your teachers in the virtual environment, and then I'll send out a survey at the end of the day to see how it went. So I'm honored to serve as your principal. So proud of our school and community, and look forward to an amazing year in Raider Nation. Go Raiders!